Hey, what is going on, guys? Tony here, and we'll be live in just a minute. Started a little early, get the pre-roll going, so it'll send out the email, and we'll get this thing started here. What a day! What a week! Awesome. If you are joining us later, I will put a time in the description when that video actually starts and the talking begins. So be on the lookout for that.
Shady silhouetted images and industry teasers are finding their way into our homes and invading our minds. Their calculated information is delivered to feed our addiction for radio-controlled frequencies. It's an RC conspiracy. But we are on your side, cracking the RC code. Because the truth is out there. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast. Get your decoder rings ready and put on those tinfoil hats because your fearless leader is here. Please welcome your host, the lead RC conspiracist, Tony Cece. Tony Cece. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast.
What is going on, you guys? What a day, what a day. It's been quite a day for me, and I'm all rested. I can say that much. You guys may be tired, except you left coasters over there. You know, it's still early for you guys, but I'm excited about this. You guys know that I got one of the infractions a little bit early because I went to Hobby or RC Fest. I wanted to say Hobby Fest, but RC Fest, and they had them for sale there. They had 6 of them, and I got one of them, and it was awesome. And I've regretted trading/selling it since the day that I did it. Well, it was about a week. I got that itching to run the infraction again, and I'm like, oh, crap, I need to get another one. And I haven't been able to. So I'm like trying to get one again, and it's been impossible. So this is cool news. Very cool news. Fog City wants some donations being sent to his PayPal. You guys make that happen. Lots of people in here already, especially considering the time. Bars and Tone RC, Mets RC, Earl's in here early. General Hobbies, Loud Opinions. Hot Rod, Piper. I wasn't sure people would show up. It's been talked about since earlier today. So I'm excited about it. And I don't know which one I'm more excited about. The handbrake feature on the infraction is so cool. Plus, if they start oval racing them, because they're talking about a class. So I traded mine to the guy who owns the oval track down in Carolina RC Park. And because I needed a new pipe for my 5T because I was getting blown away. And I was just tired of losing, like getting lapped because my car was just not as fast. Everyone had like tuned pipes, and so he had an awesome tuned pipe. But he wasn't just selling it, but he was willing to trade it plus give me cash for my infraction. And so it's kind of like that. I really don't want to, and I hedged for a while, and then I finally just gave in and said I have to do something. I need to have one of my cars be super upgraded. Most of mine I don't go super crazy with upgrades. And so that happened. But now he's talking about a class. There's other people asking about running the infractions there. Because if you guys saw it, I ran it on his oval. He's got a 5th scale oval, and it is the coolest thing ever. It's probably the most fun car I've taken around that oval. And I've taken, my 5T. I've got the sprint car. I've tried other ones. And there's nothing like running the infraction in the dirt, just drift in the corner, literally drifting the whole oval. I mean, honestly, you can keep it sideways the whole way around if you want to. So, yeah, I'm really, Greg's here. Greg Sopa, he can answer any questions. Well, let's get him some questions real quick, guys. Metz, that's a good one. Can the handbrake be put on the Felony? Greg, to you. It looked like it to me, though, Metz, because they both have the holes in the bottom there that are new to these models that we can get to. And I remember somebody, I think Jason, saying that they could be added to multiple models. But if we can get over on here and pull up a bottom shot of the car, you can see where this one has the screws filled in and the other one doesn't. And that would be where it would mount. I need to find where I want to be on this page. Because that handbrake is what's really kind of leaning me toward this, plus the racing ability. And I just want to get one of these infractions again. I loved it. What'll probably end up happening is I probably end up having to buy both of them, which is why I say the title of this, Slow Down, Arrma. My wallet can only take so much. So that's the whole video. We need the new one right here. And this shows some of the internals and the beauty shots that they have of this new livery is awesome. The paint schemes. I really am sold, I think, on the blue one. There's something about the blue one for me. So yeah, so this has a whole module in it that has almost like a disc brake in it, it looks like. And maybe, Greg, you can answer that. Is it a disc brake mechanical braking system like in, say, the 5T? Here, if we stop it, you can't really see it in this shot. But I saw an image where you could see like a disc in there. And he's saying the silver livery is the optional livery for the Mojave. Nice. Shroomster says, yep, sure is. General Hobbies looks like freedom. They sure do. I love the paint scheme on those. Okay. Earl Moorhead says, Tony, 2 of each, so 4 new RC, both colors. Oh, man, the Felony is going to be in early access hobby shops this weekend. I'm going to check it out. That's awesome. Greg's answering some questions. He says, yes, it can. You just need to get the module and disc brake as well as a servo. That's not too bad. So I think I would want to do that if I got the Felony. Which is a funny question, you know. So now whenever people ask if you ever gotten a Felony, you say yes. Convicted of one? No. Well, maybe. Not everybody. Not everybody can say that. How's it going? RC Amigos is in the house. Scott McClendon, JORC, bunch of you guys jumping in here. So yeah, they've added that new mechanical brake to the infraction, as well as a few other things, which was really cool to see. Look at that blue. I tell you what, the blue, red, white, and blue is just... And the multi-shades of blue with that navy blue coming down the middle like that. Ugh. But I'd like to see the silver one in person first before I make that decision. Because it's pretty nice looking too. All right, so here's the photo inside. So yeah, here's one of the things that they did add, which is really cool to see. Well, there's a couple things on here that I noticed. One, they did add the fan, heat sinking fan to the motor, which is huge. If you guys saw my first videos and I got made fun of for saying how long my batteries would last, and I never had a speed car, and I guess I should have just thought about it. I mean, your batteries only put out so much power at a certain rate. But I was thinking I was only going to get like 5 minutes with it because it drained my battery. Well, it turns out I was just hitting like the shutdown, thermal shutdown, because the motor was getting so hot. And putting a fan on it and the heat sink that I put on it really helped. And so that was one of my first videos. Was I'd done a 8-track down at RC Fest after I got it, the figure 8, and then I did one in a parking lot at night. And that one I only got like 5-6 minutes, and then it shut down. I thought it was the battery was dead, but it was the shutdown. And then because it did it again when I did the oval track. But when Buddy did the oval track, he got a lot longer, but he wasn't gunning it full throttle like I was the whole way around. So when you were going full throttle or you were doing the burnouts, which was a lot of the problem, is I was trying to make the tires smoke, and I was just doing, donuts and stuff like crazy. And that's when you were really having the heat issues. And so what I ended up just doing was I just geared down because I wasn't trying to go for stupid speed anyway. And so when I geared down, I didn't have any heat issues, and I was able to do the street bashing that I wanted to do with it. But yeah, so that's cool. Plus, it's got little cat pack here on the ESC as well, which is great to see. And then now they've got that brake. And Greg, I didn't see, is there a shot in the video by any chance where we see the brake in action? Or is one of the videos on here showing it in action? Mets RC says, wow, I can't wait to get my hands on the Felony with the brake. I'm with you on that one. The Felony, so my favorite thing about the Felony is, they just look straight up rad. I do like as well the bigger tires on the rear, so they stand a little bit taller and are a little wider, I believe. They showed here the measurements on the tires. I think it's this one. Yeah, so the rear, the diameter. Yeah, so the width is more and it's taller. So it's kind of like a drag car or a street car where they do that bigger rear. And then they've gone and geared the diffs to compensate for that. I don't know if you guys had noticed that or not, but they have different gearing in the front and rear differentials, it looks like, to compensate for it. But yeah, here you see the bigger tires in the back. That's the other thing that they added was the supports, the bearing supports. We'll get to that in a second. Man, this thing's just like going where it wants. Yeah, bigger tires in the back. Where'd it go? Optional parts to make it look rad, which is such a cool thing that they've added here. But here, yeah, so they supported the drive shaft because they used to like oscillate and like start to wobble in a way. And so this is going to help keep that thing where it needs to be, which is awesome. So it's like we've been saying about Arrma, they are listening, they're watching the video, they're hearing what people are talking about, and they're making changes to things, which is awesome to see. So these are going to be things that, make the version 2 worth getting. It's got the Firma system in here, which is awesome. Doesn't mess me up with the BLX 185. It's 185 amp ESC. Nope, 150. Why did they call it that? That threw me off. I got hammered by everybody because I didn't know Arrma stuff enough. It was my first 6S Arrma, so I didn't know the BLX system when I got the Infraction. So people were probably hating on me for having one. But I just happened to be the lucky guy that walked into the store when it was there. It wasn't any favoritism in any way that I got one. $650. That's not bad. That's not bad. JMRC is asking, can you dirt oval the Felony, Greg? Greg, you should just call me. I should just pipe you in here. And then you can actually answer the questions out loud. You don't even have to be on video. You could just be here via audio. I could make that happen. I've got adapters and stuff here. How's it going, Innovative RC? So if you want to, I know it's late for you too, Greg, so I'm not trying to push you. I know you got things to do. So they're asking, can you do, Greg's saying for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you could do it with the Infraction, you can do it with the Felony. It just has bigger rear tires. There's no reason it wouldn't drift and run a lot like the version 1 Infraction did. Greg says he has a sleeping child in the room next to him. That makes sense. I do too. But they all sleep with fans on in our house because I'm so loud. I was just in here programming that Hobbywing Max 10 ESC, which beeps like crazy going through the menus because I just put it in that Typhon 4x4 Mega to make that. I'm making like an upgrade series on that to show people what they can do moving their cars forward. If they get a Mega to start with, how they can take it up to, for the same amount, the level of the BLX lineup. So what are you guys thinking, black or orange? I'm kind of loving the orange. I feel like it fits that mold of car. Greg, are there going to be clear bodies available for this as well? There's a Bluetooth module in the works. Okay, Sean's RC Adventure has a good question. Will this body fit straight onto the Infraction? I'm sure with the splitter on the front, it would be a little bit of a gap if you did that because of the way that they've done the chassis with the splitters on these. So that is the one nice thing. If you do oval or go off-road with the Infraction, taking off that little air splitter on the front is pretty easy and doesn't really change a whole lot. It looks like it'll change a lot more on this one because it's a much more substantial piece on the front of it. These Spectrum systems are looking sweet with the little cat packs installed on them. And this is the... Which model is this? The one... What Arrma is this one? Is this the 150 or the 160? It's 6S, so you would think it would be the 150 is what it would normally be. And this is an interesting system here too with the safety. Input gears are keyed to the drive cups with the composite sleeves here to keep the set screw in. That's pretty cool. Hate losing set screws. Okay, yeah, 150 amp. I thought it was. I read it. I read that earlier, and that's what it had with the last one. And it was plenty on 6S. So the changes that are on this one is it still has kind of the cuttable. You can tune your wing how you want it. It's got the cool splitter in the front here that they've got. I mean, it's just awesome looking. It looks wider in the rear a little bit, but it's probably molding with the body. Does it have longer arms on the rear of this one? Did anybody find? Doesn't look like it here. Here's a good shot of it all. Maybe it just is the width of the tire being wider makes it stick out a little bit. Italian's RC says he wants the black ones. I'm telling you guys, this car, just the look of it excites me a whole lot. I'm like so drooling over it. For like a street car, this is like what I would want. They killed it with the design. I know I love the Infraction and how it works. And I'm still have his question up here. There will be clear bodies, Greg says. Greg says he's partial to the orange, but he always tells the guys to paint it orange. Harley's like that too, orange. I've seen that orange Jeep around the corner from me, and it's really grown on me. He's got a new Jeep Rubicon. Body will fit, he says. Correct, the splitters are a little different. I wonder, would the truck body fit on here onto the car? Because it seems like, I guess you just adjust your body post. What's neat about these is the rear diffuser that they have. They've got them so that they're adjustable now. I was looking at that with the Infraction. I don't remember the tabs of where they all are. All the different points that they had. So actually, here's the shot that I was mentioning before about that disc. So this is the system that you can buy and install into the Felony to give it that mechanical brake. And that's only for the rear wheel. It's just super cool. It's thinking outside the box. It's doing something that people really aren't doing. And that's what's so cool about what Arrma's doing. And they're just like killing it. Like, it's like, give everybody a chance, man. But, man, all the BLX lineup, the Mega lineup upgrades, these are significant upgrades and updates to this. One, they address the things that, were potentially problems with the original. That came up as people use them, and they saw how people used them, which may not have been how they figured people would use them. Like the first thing I did was took mine to dirt and ran it in the dirt oval, or the dirt 8-track, figure 8. Tried not to get hit, but first thing I ran it in, and then I ran it at the oval track when on my way home, ran it in the oval track, just like most fun way to do it was the dirt. The way that it drifted, it was just super cool, and I wasn't killing tires, so I liked that about it. So they've changed the chassis a little bit just because they had to modify it for that system, but it still has the great airflow here. Suck that thing to the ground. Here it is, the tunable rear diffusers that they've got. Just really slick. For those people that like to tune things like crazy, I'm not one. Like, I don't adjust my camber a whole lot or any of that stuff on most of my cars. And other than what they set it for stock, I know a lot of people like to get crazy and really fine tune things, and the more adjustability that they're giving you guys, the more that you can go crazy with stuff, which is really cool. And what they did with these tires first time around is just an amazing thing. And I'm glad to see them back. So that's awesome. What's going on, RC Show Off? Everyone's saying it's Camaro inspired. So they're still talking about this thing. It is something else. It kind of feels like a Camaro Mustang to me. I kind of see things that scream both to me. I'm pretty far back in the comments. Sociable, do you think that they're going to make a 10 scale version to add to the 3S BLX line? Ooh, I don't think so, but I wouldn't hate a 10 scale car on road. Now that Viterra is really not doing anything with that, it would be cool to see some other 10 scale, or even just taking the short course of the Tenacity line and making it into a drag car, especially now with the whole Pro line acquisition thing, partnership. It would be cool to see, some drag tires show up on one of the low C 2-wheel drive trucks converted. And you guys know Proline's got a ton of drag stuff from bodies to wheels and tires. It would be cool. Just throwing that out there. RC Basher Boy, will Proline be making more bodies for this? And for other Arrmas? Would be something to know. Raquel wants a Nero 6 version 2. Is Greg here? Greg is saying yes, it would. I think he's meaning to my dragster comment. We're on road. I would guess that there's going to be some new bodies that people would be able to do whatever they want with in the 7th. It's a different scale than a lot of the other stuff. So if they did something for 10th scale, there's already bodies. So that's the cool thing about what Proline has done, and what a lot of the companies have done is they've set their wheelbases kind of similar. So with the drag stuff, you can fit most of the bodies onto any of the different drag cars out there, whether it's Slash or Team Associated or some of the custom stuff. So yeah, anyway, it'd be cool to see some new bodies for this as well. The Bluetooth hasn't been released yet. Are you guys talking for the new controller? I keep seeing the Bluetooth being mentioned. I guess I'm missing. I think you mean because of the new, what is it, STX3? What's the new one? STX. It's on the floor over there. I can't get it. I can never remember when it's letters and numbers for names. I'm so terrible at remembering. DX3. The DX3 module, Greg says, is still in the works. That'll get you the kind of Bluetooth capability for speed and all of that with it. Because these are running the smart system too, with the receiver. What receiver is this running? Is it a smart receiver? If you add a smart receiver, you can set up the rollout and all that to get what speeds you're hitting with these things based on the RPMs, which is a really cool feature. So it's running the DX3. Oh yeah, it's running a 3-channel smart receiver here. Oh no, it's a 3-channel radio. This is a 6100. This is a 6-channel receiver. This is the Spectrum 6100 AT, it looks like. My favorite receiver that you guys have. Love that thing. Easy to bind, works well, great range. Oh, 6110 AT. It's actually up here. I was looking at the module trying to remember what it was. But yeah, I'm off on my numbers. It's a Spectrum DX3 with the SR6110 AT. Awesome receiver. I don't know, guys. It's pretty cool to me that so quickly, just a year since the last release, just over a year, and they've taken and upgraded the things that were wrong. Not even wrong. They weren't wrong. They were things that they figured out that needed to be addressed to make it run better. It was already an awesome car, and I would have been happy with it to keep it just like it is. But they say, hey, we see people are adding fans. Let's just add a fan out the gun. Some people were having the oscillation or the drive shafts moving a lot. I never saw that with mine. But they added the bearings in there to kind of firm that thing up and keep it, true where it needs to be. Awesome. Handbrake. Just because it's cool. They added that. That's cool. And then they changed it up and gave us a muscle car. Maybe a truck's not your thing, but you're into muscle cars. And now you got a muscle car big wheels, and lots of options. You know, maybe you like the turbo sticking out of the hood. Maybe you like the engine sticking out of the hood. Not my style. I'm more clean muscle car, but everybody has their own taste, and so they're giving you options, which is what's really cool about them. They realize that we're all different. We have different things that we like to do, and we run them different ways, and they're setting it up to be, you know, the best it can for as many people as they can please, which is awesome. Some channel, Greg, will there be another Talion anytime soon? Oh, Earl Moorhead. Yeah, even with the 2028 Coke can motor, you didn't break the Limitless. These things are built so tough. I crash mine into walls, and they just keep going. Tim, can I upgrade the Spectrum Smart Radio to my SMT Gravedigger? Yes. And so I have SMT 10s here. I have a smart ESC. I'm getting a smart receiver. I'm going to be doing a full smart SMT 10 here soon. I'm waiting for some of the motors to come in stock so that I can get a higher kV motor to put in it. And then I'll have Spectrum motor, ESC receiver, and then it'll be running with my rugged, and it'll give me all the data on my batteries, smart batteries. It's going to be awesome. So I'm really liking the smart stuff. I'm glad to see that also be something that's been added to these as something to mention, because it did have the BLX system in it before, which were just kind of marked BLX. This is still considered BLX because it just means brushless. But the old motors were stamped that, and they were the Arrma, you know, ESC and motor combo. Now they're running the Spectrum Smart, and I like that across the board on a lot of my cars. I have that, and I like the functionality of it, and so I'm trying to add it to more things. So I bought the 130 amp ESC for my Gravedigger build that's sitting back here, and I'm waiting on, I think it's a 4,000 kV. Let's go to Horizon Hobby and see. I'm going to go shop cars and trucks. We'll hide this for a second. And we want to get to transmitters, batteries, paint. Now where's other accessories? Would it be? I want motors. That would be a big accessory to have here. Motors and ESCs. Am I missing it? And I can't click this to just shop all parts and accessories. Okay. So we will go to brands and we will go to Spectrum. And motor type, brushless. We'll get there this way. We'll find it. Here it is. So I'm waiting for this. It's only $34.99. And pair that with 130 amp ESC. This is an awesome power system for an SMT10. I think it'll be pretty cool. 3S. Sorry. Shade Tree says you got the Capra and the TRX4. He's portal poor. I do like portals on the trail. Okay, the V100 cars are transitioning to low C. That's an interesting thing. That's from Greg here. So that's good to hear that we'll have, you know, maybe some on-road there. We'll see. Tony, do they have ride height adjustments? I haven't looked at anything yet. So the original Infraction, you could only lift it so much before it would hit, because I was looking at putting bigger tires and stuff on it for doing the dirt stuff. And there came a point when it could no longer extend downward. And I think it's because the arm hits the chassis itself. So there's only so much height adjustment there. I mean, you can extend your shock some. There's some adjustability there, but there's only so much that you can do. All right, so Greg's saying, yeah, the updates that we're going to go to in the next version of the new Ascender were put into the SCX 10.3. It kind of blended the two platforms. Okay. So that was about Vitera. Yeah, Matt, remember, guys, get your questions in now before Greg leaves. I need to cough for a second. All right. No one says old Infraction will be discontinued. No, it's the same thing. It's just upgraded. So you're not discontinuing it. A lot of the parts just carry over. So, you know, you'll basically, instead of buying it, you're still buying the Infraction. It's not I mean, they're not going to make that one anymore, but it's still, I don't say it's discontinued. It's just upgraded. Zedric, I don't think so. He says Smarter's trying to be in monopoly, which I don't like that business practice. I don't think so. It doesn't make sense for Horizon to make tons of different brands that do batteries. Why should Arrma have a battery, or not battery, a motor brand and a ESC and all of that? And they also have fused batteries and all that. Why wouldn't they just have one company that handles all of their electronics that they put into their cars? It makes sense to me. So they're already doing Spectrum for the other electronics, like the receiver, transmitters. They've got batteries. They're just kind of marketing it all the same. And you don't have to use a smart battery with the smart system, only if you want to get the readout of your battery power remaining on your controller. But to do that, you have to be using a Spectrum receiver in that anyway. So it's not really monopolizing, because you can put other EC5 or EC3 connectors on and still use these systems. Or you could just cut off the connector like I do with my Traxxas ones and put on an EC5 connector. You know, just because it's set one way doesn't mean people have to stick with it. It's just the connector that they have. They've created it. They use it. They've been using the EC3 for Horizon stuff for years. So this is just a newer, better iteration of it. And if you want to use the capabilities of it, you can. You're not forced to. Just like I'm not forced to use Traxxas batteries for a Traxxas car, because I personally don't like their batteries. So I just cut them off, solder on new connectors, and I'm good to go. They make it so that their batteries work really well with their systems. Traxxas does. They make it easy for you to buy a Traxxas car and buy their battery and their charger, and it just works together. But if you're a hobbyist and you have multiple things and brands, then you choose what you want, and it's pretty cheap change. I buy a bunch of them on eBay, EC5s, because particularly I can't stand the way that EC5s work, and I found a company that makes them so they work like old school, or like basically the old XT60s, where they're already in with the little tab out, and you just put the heat shrink on it, solder it in, slide heat shrink over the metal tab, and you're good to go. Super easy when you get an EC5 versus soldering the ends and then pushing them through or pulling them through. Oh, I hated that setup. But I don't think it's really a monopoly. Guys, big news. Traxxas just dropped new roof rails. That's from Lowrider. It's a cool innovation, and Proline's got it too. So it's very good. Some channel says IC5 are my favorite connectors. They're awesome. You get lots of power through them. If you get the intelligence through it as well, that's great if your battery uses it. If not, it doesn't need to. So it's just an extra tab at that point. Trying to see what Pilot Ryan's saying he needs them too. I need EXP shims. Oh, okay. I bought some shims for mine. I haven't installed stuff yet, so they're talking about it. Pilot Ryan, which shims are you looking for? The ones that go inside the diff where you take it apart, or the ones on the outside to kind of push it over against the like the ring gear and the little pinion there of the diff? 11 Charlie says definitely good connectors. IC5. They've made those easier as well to solder, so that's good. Pilot Ryan, okay, cool. So I did order the outside ones, so I'm good there. I didn't get the internal ones. I ordered up a 2-pack. I've got my EXP sitting there, and I got a Castle Mamba X Monster something 8S ESC for it, and a Holmes Hobby. I wanted to try a Holmes Hobby motor. I haven't really done that yet. And so I was recommended by one of the guys that work there to get one of their Puller Pros. And so I got that. And I'm excited to see how that does in the EXB. It's different than anything I've ever tried going that route. So I was trying to get one of the Spectrum systems, but they're all sold out for the kits. That would have been like a direct Creighton drop-in for it. But yeah. Greg says a phase-in is in the works right now. Okay, cool. I don't remember what the phase-in was. Yeah. I do remember this. I think NetCruiser has one of these. They're pretty cool. Looks like they use the body for the voltage stylings. So what would that be like? It looks like it's kind of... Uh-huh. It's got a really cool chassis. Really cool. Did this one... Oh, it did have the diff brain. That's right. I love it when they do cages like this. It's so cool. So anyway, guys, I think this is going to be a really cool car. I mean, we've seen the awesome video from Kittrus Extreme. That video was killer. And then we saw RC Sparks did an unboxing of it so we could see the details of it, what you get. That was awesome as well. I'm just catching up on a lot of it. I know RC Guy Garage and Mets and Jo and Riff Raff and all those guys were live earlier today talking about this. I was out cold. I'll say. I've been dealing with a gout flare-up, so I've got my little cane here, stickered all up. Arrma, there's an Arrma sticker. I got this when I was in Japan. I don't know if you guys remember when I was in Japan. I think it was last year. I had a really bad flare-up, and I couldn't walk, couldn't put any pressure on my ankle, and it's what it's done again. So it seems like when I do certain things, it's kind of like an arthritis, but we took the kids to what's called Belle Isle, and it's a cool RC spot that they do crawling in this. It's rocks in the river and all that. And it was really rush in the river, and so footing was tough, and I think I twisted my ankle, and I think that flared it up. In Japan, it was just the crazy amounts of walking I think we did. But so I couldn't sleep last night, so I ended up falling asleep today after dinner, and then got up and did the work on the Typhon. Greg says, yeah, that chassis can't be done anymore. There's some issues. What did somebody say? At first it was, I saw somebody, I think it was Brian Reynolds, said, okay, first you have the infraction, then you have the felony. What's next? The lawsuit. And somebody said, well, that already happened. And I was like, oh, too soon. But all right, we'll see you, RC Rorschach. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm torn on which one to get first. The problem is I know they're going to be hard to get for a while after the first shipment, but I don't know that I'm going to be dropping for both of them first run. I'm torn. I really love the look of the Felony, but I kind of see myself using the truck more, especially for racing, if we can get an oval class together. Although I could still run the Felony, I guess, for that. But it would look cool as a full truck class with all the Infraction trucks lined up. So it's going to be a tough one. Oh, here's the sneak in. Greg says it's going to be a busy second half of the year for Horizon Surface releases. Well, we just started the second half of the year. Well, this is a good start. Had all the Arrma announcements for the 3S and the Mega. Now this. The Evader. Oh, so now everyone's giving other names. But yeah, I'm curious. I know that they had talked about Losi having... Greg sat with Jason and somebody else. Who else were you sitting with, Greg? You did a live, and you're talking about Losi products and Arrma products in this year for Surface. And somebody had teased a drag, no prep drag. They kind of were like, and pretty much promised a solid axle monster truck, which got everybody talking. All right, Italians. TLNRC. We'll see you. Have a good night. Misdemeanor. Everybody's giving other names. The Homicide, the Evader. What comes next? Todd Hodge. That was it. Todd was with him. JORC. No Horizon. Slow down. I'm going to need a second job soon. I know that's the hard part, is trying to, now that he said that, you got to keep some savings for the new stuff coming out. And I've already pledged some of my RC money goes toward my Jeep payment that I got. Greg Sopa says, I don't know anything about RC solid axle trucks. Never drove one. Yeah, right. You know you're the monster truck guy. See ya, Bull Gear RC. We're going to wrap it up here. Just kind of going through some of the comments. Definitely, they've got awesome cars. They've listened. And the upgrades that they've added to these, the Infraction, are awesome. And bringing that over to the Felony, as well as changing some things to add the bigger tires in the rear, the different kind of spoiler in the front. Not spoiler, the air. I'm getting tired. The scoop on the front. I don't know. The splitter on the front. is pretty awesome. I actually like this version of it here where it doesn't have the big wing on the back. I do like how it looks. And if I was going to street bash it and not go for speed, I would probably run it like that. Versus having the big wing on it like they show here in the orange one. It does look good on the orange one, though, with the black. But everybody has their opinions. All right, guys, I'm starting to hit a wall at 1 a.m. here, and I do need to edit that other video that I shot earlier about the Typhons. So I'm going to call it. Thanks, Greg, for sticking in here for so long, teasing us, but also answering some really great questions that people had. Blaine, aloha. Hope you're doing well. Honolulu, beautiful place. I was there last summer. I'd love to go back. The Arrma litigation. That'd be a funny name. Lots of cool stuff. You guys are awesome in the chat. Thank you so much. And what's Brad saying? Put the Raider back in service and make Slipper. I got my Raider sitting right over there next to that box. I had to get one. Fernando, Arrma has gone insane. They sure have. All right, thanks, guys, for tuning in. And be sure to check these out. Check out the pages. You can see all the cool stuff that they've done. Look at it closely in detail. You can get all the specs on them. You know, I had the Infraction, and I absolutely loved it. And it's definitely a car worth owning, having in your RC arsenal. But now the tough part is you have to choose between two awesome ones, the Felony or the Infraction, or make the decision to get them both. So there's always that. You can choose to get them both, and that would make it a lot easier. Because I'm looking at this Felony, and there's so much want for it. So we'll be making those decisions here soon. I'm going to talk to Buddy, see what the rules would be, if I can run that in the class, if they do run that class. And if so, I'll probably pull the trigger on the Felony. That's what I'm leaning toward. Although that brake would be so cool, and I have to add it to it. So many decisions. All right, guys, have a good one. Oh, thank you, Randy Scott, man, $5 super chat. You're awesome. Later, guys.